I always believed hard work was its own reward. For 6 long years, every nail, every brush of paint, every corner of that old cottage carried pieces of me. When I first found it, it was falling apart, rotting wood, broken windows, a roof that looked ready to cave in. But to me, it wasn't just a cottage. It was a dream I could hold in my hands. I poured myself into it. Weekends, holidays, late nights after work. I was there, scraping old wallpaper, sanding floors, patching leaks. My friends stopped calling me out because they knew where I'd be, covered in dust, hands blistered, but smiling. Because I wasn't just fixing up a house. I was building my future. Every plank I replaced, I told myself, this will be my place, my peace, my little corner of the world. My parents used to visit sometimes, standing in the doorway while I worked. They'd nod, impress, but never offered much more than a looks good. I didn't mind. I wasn't doing it for praise. I was doing it for myself. Or at least, that's what I thought. The day I finished, truly finished, I remember standing in the doorway. Sunlight poured through clean windows onto polished wood floors. The air smelled of fresh paint and possibility. It wasn't just a house anymore. It was home, my home. But 2 weeks later, everything I thought I knew shattered. We were sitting at the dinner table. My parents, my sister, and me. Conversation was normal, casual. And then, without warning, my mother smiled at my sister and said, "It'll be so nice for you to move into the cottage now that it's ready." The fork slipped from my hand. I thought I misheard. I asked, "What do you mean?" My father answered, calm as ever, "The cottage is part of the family property. We've decided your sister should have it. She's starting her new life, and it makes sense for her to be there." My sister didn't look at me. Not once. She just smiled softly, like she'd already known all along. 6 years. 6 years of sweat, sacrifice, and saving every penny to buy supplies. 6 years of saying no to vacations, new clothes, nights out, because all of it went into the cottage. And in one sentence, they erased it. I wanted to scream. I wanted to flip the table, demand they acknowledge everything I gave. But instead, silence wrapped around me like a chokehold. My parents carried on with dinner, as if nothing had happened, as if my world hadn't just collapsed in front of them. That night, I walked back to cottage. My cottage. I stood in the kitchen where I'd laid each tile by hand, remembering the day I bled through my gloves grouting them. I touched the doorframe where I'd carved small marks, testing different stains until I found the perfect one. I sat on the floor, looking at the ceiling beams I'd sanded for days until they gleamed. It felt like the walls were whispering, "You built me, but you'll never live here." The betrayal wasn't just about losing the house. It was about what it revealed. That my parents didn't see me, not really. That my effort, my devotion, my sacrifice meant nothing compared to my sister's convenience. I thought of the times I asked them for help and they brushed me off. The birthdays I spent alone at the cottage, hammering nails while they celebrated with her. The quiet assumption that I would always be fine on my own because I was the strong one, but strength has limits. And mine broke that night. The next morning, I packed a small bag. I left the cottage key on the kitchen counter, right where the sunlight hit. No note, no explanation, just silence. The same silence they gave me when they stole 6 years of my life. I walked away without looking back. It's been months now, and I still don't know who lives there. Maybe my sister has moved in. Maybe she's already redecorated. Covering over the walls, I painted with her own colors. I try not to think about it. But sometimes, late at night, I remember the sound of the floorboard beneath my feet, the smell of sawdust, the way the sun used to fall across the windows. And I realized the cruelest betrayal wasn't that they gave the cottage to her. It was that I believed, all those years, it was ever truly mine. And now, when people ask me why I don't go home much anymore, I just smile and say, some places don't belong to you, no matter how much of yourself you put into them. Because the hardest lesson I learned wasn't about loss. It was about letting go.